Good morning, everyone. So Oti and I today have come off a night shift. We're in the middle of a long run of night shifts, and some days I just have to go home and sleep. Can't do anything else. Other days, like today, I'm very awake and want to go out for a walk. So I'm much better on days like this, actually going out, doing something, and then going home and sleeping for the rest of the day. So we're here at Castle Drogo. It's one of my favourite walks, but the place can get too busy for me. You'll have done this walk with me, or certainly parts of it. In the summer I make it a 9 mile from Clifford Bridge, and we often cycle from Clifford Bridge. So you'll have certainly done part of this walk. So today we'll head out. It's only actually a 3 mile loop, but it's quite a tough 3 mile loop. And as you can hear, we've got morning bird song, and we've got the owls haven't gone to bed yet, which is amazing. Right, let's go. I am a National Trust member because we have so many wonderful places and car parks around here. So I validated my ticket. This car park's very useful because it doesn't close, and it means Oti and I can head off for a wonderful walk. It looks darker on camera than it actually is. But I'm doing a little bit of filming, hopefully to pick up this owl, because doesn't it sound amazing? And on cue, of course, it'll stop hooting. There we go. Ahead of me, I can't figure out whether it's a lot of loose dogs, which I won't want to get too close to, or whether it was deer crossing in front of me. Now I can hear a deer barking off to my right, so actually it could be either. They could have been deer, or it could have been spooked by dogs. Yeah, there we go, it's deer running in front of us. I don't know if you saw that again in this light, it won't pick it up particularly well. Just see if there are any more. And we're going to be heading right down this path here. But we'll just have a glance over here first. Can you hear that deer barking? I don't think there's any more coming across. What an amazing sound. There is just so much wildlife out here. Right, I can't stop and watch for deer all day, we better get going. Poor old Oti is desperate for a walk, aren't you? Good girl. We can't see these stunning autumn colours yet, but we will be able to on our way back. But on the plus side, we're getting this amazing dawn chorus. The downside of us heading off quite so early is you won't get quite such stunning views yet, but it's dry, so I'm making the most of it. We're forecast showers today into heavy rain this afternoon, so I'd much rather get out and enjoy a walk now. We're taking the Hunter's Path, and I am ever hopeful, having just as we walked down there, I can glimpse some mist sitting in the valley. So I'm hoping we'll get some views of that. Oh, it's lovely out here. Exactly what I needed after a night shift, and definitely what Oti needed. I'm just getting glimpses of that mist. Isn't that stunning? Wow. Right, let's carry on. I do feel guilty at times, but Oti doesn't get the life my previous dogs did. I don't live on farms and estates anymore, I'm not working outside. but that's basically how we've got into adventuring. My dogs might have previously had a wonderful lifestyle, running next to carriages, quad bikes, horses, plenty of land, but they did have time shut in stables, shut in a flat or cottage, while I exercised youngsters and taught. So it wasn't all amazing. And they didn't get this. I didn't have the time or the finances for it, which is what Oti's getting to enjoy. Look at that. Wow. Good girl. And I think this lifestyle suits Oti and I. I can't manage the physical work outside all day anymore, but with a change of job, I get the time and enough petrol money to come and enjoy this. What more could I ask for? As much as I'm loving this, it's time to carry on. So there's always more to see. Good girl. There really are benefits to getting up at this time of day. Look at that. Oh wow. So we're going to be looping round. We're going to walk down to Fingle Bridge, alongside the river, right along here, cross over, up very nasty hill which half kills me, and then back along. Should just be able to see that track there, and that will take us back to the start. What a day for it. How could I not get out? You can just see Castle Drogo just behind, over there behind us. Wow. Right, let's carry on, little duck dog. Is this a bit lovely? Right, it's starting to get light enough that we can see what we're doing now. Let's have a little look out. Yeah, someone's used to posing on rocks. Right, take care through here, little duck dog. But she does know this well enough. I'm not going to go too close to the edge. There we go, and we can start to hear the sound of the river. Oti, that's enough now, good girl. And there's that mist still hanging. Yeah, step too far, little one. Good girl. Wow. What an amazing spot. People ask, do I need to get Oti to pose? The answer is no. If you've got any doubt about your dog's reliability, or if Oti were having zoomies, she would be on lead through this. You can just start seeing the colour now of these autumn ferns. Good girl. Look at that. I can never get over what we've got so close, and yet I almost forget to come and visit it. And of all the times I've walked this, it looks different every time. Different times of year, different weather conditions. different plants having done well that year. But wow. Pretty stunning, hey? You just see Castle Drogo again, just in that far corner. This is where I'm very glad I've switched to a GoPro, because it means I can watch my footing whilst it takes care of the recording. And you do have to be a bit careful down here. It can be a bit slippy. It's not a bad path, but it's not the easiest. But it's worth it. In the summer you often see lizards along here, hidden away, or out sunbathing if you're really lucky. This time of year it's far more likely deer, squirrels, and I don't know whether the ponies are out at the moment. Something worth bearing in mind. Okay, we'll carry on. We won't have a proper sunrise this morning because of the weather. We're just getting a little touch of colour to the clouds. And the world is starting to wake up. Oti, come! Good girl. And look at the smile on this little duck dog's face. Good girl. Well done. Hey. And this is why it's worth getting out early, to keep someone happy. Good girl. Come on then. And obviously, I thoroughly enjoy it too. But there's definite benefits to owning a dog. I don't know that I'd be out here at this time of day without her. Yep, she's found somewhere lovely to roll. Is that nice? And it's safe away from cliff paths. Good girl. We are heading downwards towards river level. And usually I don't try not to do walks where I finish going uphill. But for this walk, I forgive it because it's just got a bit of everything. You can start seeing these autumn colours properly now, offset by the dark green trees behind them. Now last week I did a walk and I was on the opposite side and looking across here. Isn't this gorgeous? So we've still got a bit of mist down there, we've got the autumn colours, we've got the silver birches. We've got everything. This is one of those walks I could video every single step of because it just varies from moment to moment. I don't, because it would be far too much for you guys and you wouldn't enjoy it. But what I have done, as I often do now, is taken some extra photos of different places and they'll be at the end of the video. Right, you? Shall we carry on? Come on then. Good girl. This is where I'm going to diverge from Hunter's Path and we're heading down towards Fingle Bridge now to cross over to the other side of the river. Now this river and dam were used for hydroelectric, but I will find out some more information about that and pop it in the info at the start of the video. It was really quite ahead of its time. Oh, this is starting to get pretty. You've just got the light starting to come through. There are so many fungi through here. It's starting to give quite a magical feeling. How wonderful. We've got some very happy trees through here, covered in lichen. Look at how the place has all just woken up. That little bit of sunlight. We've got a whole different feel. Again, wonderful bird song. And I love how these trees are growing. It gives a very sort of spooky forest look, doesn't it? Just how glad am I that we made the effort to come out today. I'll get plenty of sleep this afternoon, so that's not an issue. And look at what we get to enjoy. Sometimes on a run of long shifts, when you live on your own, it can get me down, to be honest. It sort of feels as though you're doing nothing but working, walking a dog, just managing and getting by. And then you come and do something like this, and it just puts everything into perspective. I love my job, and it does pay for me to do this and have the time to do it. Yes, we all have bad days, but ultimately I really enjoy it. And this is what life's all about. This is the payoff. I've always loved this little bit of woods. Not sure why, but it has real character. Especially I can just see more mist hanging through there. Yep, it's pretty special. That bit of light comes through and everything just changes. You can start to get these stunning colours. It really is just amazing. I'd never lose the enjoyment of doing this. Even when I'm stiff and achy, I'd rather do this slowly and enjoy it. Look at that down there. Magical, just no other words for it. Just utterly, utterly stunning. Bit special, hey little duck dog. Good gal. I must say, as soon as the sun goes in, that temperature drops, and it really is pretty cold this morning. I always forget how long this section of the walk is. I think it's downhill. Well, obviously I know it's downhill, but I think it feels longer because it's downhill. I'm going to have to take my time. I drove over here in pretty thick fog, and you can see we're coming down into it now. But it does make everything so pretty. We are coming down to a car park, which we'll walk through, and I can't decide whether I'm being rained on or whether it's just drips from the fog. I suspect it's drips. Or maybe that's just wishful thinking on my part. And this is Fingle Bridge Inn. So you could go back on this side of the river, but I actually find that part tougher. So Fingle Bridge with the Fingle Bridge inn, which must have been photographed so many thousands and thousands of times over, but it never gets boring. What about that for a shot? Isn't that brilliant? I've videoed our cycle through here several times over, and we will come from that direction, which is Clifford Bridge, and you've got Fingle Woods and loads of different walking here. But we're going to head on and carry on. We've crossed the river and we're going to carry on. So let's go. This way! There are lovely wide sections through here of grass, and it's a very popular place for picnics in the summer, but it's worth bearing in mind that the car park we've just walked through is predominantly for the pub, so there aren't actually that many parking spaces if you just want to come and have a picnic here, so you probably have to do most of the walk. But what a way to earn your lunch. Here we can really start seeing the colours of the leaves turning. Oti's headed down for the water. I don't blame her. Shall we go down and join her? What a stunning, magical spot. With this bit of mist hanging. Autumn colours, reflections, mossy rocks. What more could you want? Isn't this just wonderful? It's a little bit of paradise. Now, I don't know if you can see, we've got a dipper sitting or standing out on those rocks there. Now, this is the first time I've ever actually been able to do this. There's enough running water to make it really interesting, but it was shallow enough for me to step across and can stand here. And wow, it's worth it. Just utterly magical. I know I've used that a few times today, but it really is. I'm not going to put Oti any closer to them, but the dippers couldn't care less. We're here. They're so used to this. Look at that. This is just more than a bit special. This is where I do have to remind myself that I can walk after night shift. Not to get carried away. And remember, I've actually got to go home at some point. Because it is very easy to get distracted. Oh, we've got a little robin over here. Will he stay while I turn around? Yes, he will. Morning, little robin. Oh, isn't he lovely? I don't know if you can see him properly. Isn't he gorgeous? Hello, little guy. Hello, little guy. How wonderful. So, back up the steps to Oti's absolute favourite swim spot. What about this for a swim spot? Not bad, is it, little duck dog? That is one very happy little duck dog. Good gal. There are signs saying forestry work, and we have seen tractors, but there was nothing up at the car park, because if there had been, I wouldn't have started this walk, I'd have gone elsewhere. This is the downside of trying to fit a walk in between night shifts. It's fine if everything's going okay, but if I have to turn round now, I'm pushing it for time. So we get to this end, and there's a very clear route closed, so why not from the other end? Forestry England and National Trust do amazing work with the upkeep of this area, but we noticed it last year. Their signage is poor. If you're going to close a main route in half term, the signs should be plastered all over the car park so that people can decide whether or not to start the walk or not. Oh well, we're through that section and we'll carry on. So this bit is very similar to walking along the section of river from Clifford Bridge. Good girl. Good girl. That's pretty cool. I'm sure there should be a pixie or something living on that one. The colours aren't dramatic yet, particularly without the sun on them. Yeah, we're very clearly autumn, aren't we? You can see how much we've risen in a fairly short space of time. Now unfortunately we go down again and then have the long uphill. But that's alright. Again, it gives us a variety. So you can just about see the footpath on the other side of the river. And if I'd realised this side was going to be closed for forestry work, I'd have gone on that side. But never mind, it's done now. That mossy rock in the middle of the river, isn't that brilliant? I think we've probably had the best of the day, but that's why we headed out early. There is actually a bit of blue sky just hiding above the mist. I'm watching autumn happen as we walk. We've got leaves falling. Oh, I know it means dark nights, dark mornings, but it is a pretty special time of year. We're coming up to a pretty impressive gate. Likewise, it's taller than I am. Isn't that a bit special? I love this track along here. These mossy rocks are wonderful. And again, the height of this wall, it's got to be 8-9 foot, towers above me. And it's just a lovely track. But do bear in mind it gets very muddy along here. Whatever time of year I've been down in near drought, and it's muddy. Now, our footpath takes us up these steps, over the wall and across the river. Good girl. Oti had a swim earlier in one of her favourite spots, and we're coming up to one of mine. So we're going to go over the iron bridge. I don't swim all year, I do find it too cold with various health conditions. But looking out that way, wonderful mossy rocks, lovely landscape, and looking out this way, look at that peace and tranquility. And this is Salmon Leaps. And from the weir, just at the end there, to this bridge, makes an absolutely super swimming spot. Now I can't zoom in close enough for you to see, but out there we've got a gossander, which is lovely. There's at least 2 breeding pairs living along here, and what a great spot for it. We're just starting to rise out of the mist now. This is my least favourite bit of a walk because it is pretty steep. Well, our lunchtime rain has come early. So there is a short road to walk along. It's signed as part of the route, and in all the times I've done this walk I've never actually met a vehicle along it. Our path now heads up below the castle. Look at all these wonderful leaves. I'm being positive, I'm sure it was only a shower. We're now heading back round the valley, but there's another woody bit to walk up through, but I always forget about, and it's the last sort of big uphill. As I'm sure you can imagine, when this gorse is in flower earlier in the year, this is just an absolutely amazing sea of yellow. And that's what I mean, every season has something. There's always something different to see. Right, that's the top of that little woody bit, and we are out heading around the top of the valley. Now, when we started out on the walk, I stopped and turned around and videoed and pointed out the last path we'd be coming back on. Well, this is it. So this is the path leading us back now to those steep steps up to the car park. Still a little bit of mist hanging out there. Some blue sky, quite a bit of cloud, but all lovely. Good girl. I do just love it up here. Who'd have thought there were so many different variations of green? There we can see, snaking through the dense forest, the river we've just walked pretty much along. I'd never tire of this. How could you? We're now coming back to the steps we first came down. I'm not looking forward to going up them. I have remembered why I haven't walked this walk for so long and why I certainly don't do the long version anymore. It makes my back ache, and I don't know why. I've never figured out why. Whether it's because it's hard footing most of the way, I don't know, but it's such a stunning place, but it might not be one I can walk much longer. I would highly recommend though that you do, because it really is lovely. Okay, so we're heading back up there. Well, blue sky over there, rain over us. I think we've just about made it in time and really have had the best of the day. And what a handy poo bin. That's it. This is the bit we couldn't see earlier. That's where I stood watching deer. And yeah, nothing there saying that the route's closed. I will have a little chat with people up in the visitor centre. That's us back out onto the drive up to the castle. That's us back in the car. I've had a chat with people in the visitor centre and explained about signing, so hopefully they can look into it. Because I did explain to someone like myself, that's a very slippery path down. I would really struggle to get back up it. But we have had a wonderful walk and I highly recommend it. So that's Castle Drogo Loop via Hunter's Path. Take care everyone, and we'll see you all soon. Definitely back in the car on time. And time for us to go home. Oti and I can have some breakfast and both go to bed. Perfect.